Um, how you feeling? How you living? Man, it was a pretty chill day, man. Got a little work done. Went to the gym. And when I got some opportunities to explore, woo, might lie to me, man. Let's check this weather real quick. They said it's supposed to get cold. Don't look like it. Thank God. But pretty smooth day. But I learned another valuable lesson. Like, for me, I basically use myself as a guinea pig for a lot of the lessons that I learned, especially as far as exercise or dieting goes. And one of the lessons I keep running into the hardest way possible is, even though people tell you to drink more water, don't drink all that water. Regardless of how sweaty you get, how hard you work out, don't drink all that water. If you ain't got nothing else to drink, if you down to your last option, even still, don't drink all that water, boy, because, man, I grew up playing outside, so playing outside is nothing. Being outside in the sun is nothing. But, man, the effect of being in the sun and all you got to drink is water after already working out, that feeling is terrible. Start getting headaches, start feeling like, man, I'm ready to go ahead and lay it down. It's because you need electrolytes. You're dying. Fix that shit. I done did that a few times, boy. I'm like, man, it's hot outside. Let me cool myself down by drinking more water. And I drink some more water. I'm like, man, I feel even more thirsty than before. I feel a little weak. I don't like this. Brother, stop drinking water. Go get you some watermelon juice. Get you liquid IV. Super key. Get you some cherry juice. You probably want to dilute it a little bit because, like, real tart cherry juice, disrespectful. Like, you gotta be cautious with that. But don't just be drinking all that water, man. You need to diversify your fluids, because otherwise you end up like me, sitting here feeling terrible. But show must go on. Today, I'm a speak real politely, because folks are still in the NBA, but we diving straight into basketball. And I went to a school where a lot of folk was from Chicago, so a lot of people that I'm connected to are from Chicago, and they familiar with or fans of Rob Dillingham. Point guard, went to the University of Kentucky. If I'm not mistaken, hold up, I'm gonna look all this up so we can make sure that we doing our P's and Q's and we're not giving any false information. Yup. Chicago. Apparently he's supposed to be 6'2", but you know they get real generous with them the measurements. Real generous with the measurements. 178, so real slight. So, and depending on where you look, they say 6'4". I done looked up on Wikipedia, 6'4", from North Carolina. Went to Kentucky. I'm like, he ain't no 6'4". If anything, he probably 6 foot, 6'1", but he was a hooper at Kentucky. A lot of the folk from Chicago loved him. I just couldn't understand why. I guess it was his game. They just appreciated it. I thought so. He's drafted number 8 overall, 2024. Drafted by the Spurs and traded. And the unfortunate part about that is a lot of people that I talked to that were fans of his were real proud of him. Like, yeah, that guy right there is going to be, he's going to be the one. Like, he's going to be something special. And for those that don't know, the 2024 draft is the one that had Reed Shepard, who was at Kentucky with him. And that was the one with the Frenchman who we all was like, these boys is mid. Bub Carrington, Jared McCain, Ron Holland. The only like legit dog that was drafted in the entire draft, if you scroll all the way through the first round, the only bona fide dog was Steph Castle from UConn, pick number 4. Klingon, Edie, Ucelis, Khalil Ware, Jared McCain, Dalton Connect, Eve Meesey. Just, yeah, nothing special, but folks believed in Rob Dillingham heavy, liked his play style, liked that he had some aggression to him. He was a dog. But up to this point in his career, he hasn't been able to really find any playing time, consistent playing time, or consistent opportunity to make a name for himself. And kind of puzzling, because majority of top 10 picks are going to get an opportunity to play. And when he got drafted in Minnesota, I already had Mike Conley and Ant-Man, and they already had like semi-plans to go to the finals, but still should have been some room for some young players. Him and Terrence Shannon Jr. didn't get much clout. After 1 year, you're like, all right, that's cool. All right. The next year, still nothing. And he's traded. Now he ends up on Chicago, and it's still like, he's not really getting too much clout, or he's not impressing the way people thought he would. It's like, dang, man, what happened? It's starting to look like this thing isn't going to take shape. And I saw that coming. Simply because there are trends in sports where just the fundamental rules and framework of how the sport is played will let you know what works and what doesn't work. Yeah, unfortunate part about Rob Dillingham is his game is one that doesn't equate to stardom. And in the rare occasion it might equate to stardom, it won't equate to winning. I already did a episode about hoops and my perspective of how basketball works and what you need to win and what you need to make a successful team. But to be entertaining is simple. Winning is completely separate from entertaining. You could be entertaining and be a loser. You can win and not be entertaining. The GOATs, the people that we like at the top, are the ones who win and entertain. But what do you do when you have a play style that doesn't lend itself to either? And in basketball, to be entertaining, it's simple. Ball movement, fast breaks, dunks, crossovers, just no acknowledgement of defense. Simple. You want to be entertaining? Allow your skill to overcome any obstacle. Perfect example, Kobe. Man, imagine like the shots that Kobe was taking, the things that Kobe was known for that made him a legend was triumph and uncomfortable situations where there was opposition that seemed really tough, but he still overcame. Imagine Kobe still having the same playing style, but take the defense away. So him doing fadeaways from the nail or turnaround jump shots, fading and almost falling, but with nobody even putting a hand up. You go from Kobe Bryant to Jason Tatum. It's like, The difference between Kobe and Tatum is Kobe, again, winning and entertaining. Jason Tatum, just winning. Because a part of being entertaining is just overcoming opposition and doing it with flair. When there's no opposition, you got to go heavier on the flair, like windmills, between the leg dunks, shooting from far out, unbelievable passes. And Cuz ain't got none of that. Which leads itself to Rob Dillingham. He has a play style that doesn't lend itself to entertaining or winning. And that play style or that archetype is undersized, ball dominant, primary scorer. So somebody who has the ball a lot and their primary and majority of the time secondary and tertiary skill are just scoring the basketball. Think Donovan Mitchell. And a lot of the guys I put on there are examples of this, and in their own coincidental ways, they have led to the career of Rob Dillingham going the way it has. Donovan Mitchell, probably the most successful guy at this play style, where undersized, not a facilitator. Not a facilitator. Can pass, but is not a facilitator. Being undersized means you're a liability on defense. You're not going to be a great rebounder. Your skill is to score. And when you're ball dominant, that means you're not making it easy to score. You have to dribble and massage the ball to score. This is what separates like Steph Curry from this group, where Steph, Klay Thompson, they didn't have to be ball dominant at all. They barely had to touch the ball to score. I'm talking about the guys who have to dribble, have to handle, have to use up clock in order to get their buckets. That's already hard to have that play style, period, because James Harden and Luka, guys who are passers, they're still not efficient facilitators because they dribble the hell out the ball before they make the pass. So it's not, I see a pass and I can make it. It's, how can I fool or manipulate you into creating me a pass? Different between LaMelo Ball and Luka. Like, one can see a pass and just get to it. The other one is, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep handling the ball until I get the pass I want. You can't win with somebody who is ball dominant. And that's the part that makes the conversation uncomfortable, is we're not even going to speak about the height yet. Just a ball dominant score first player is not going to lead to a championship. And these are the folks that all I'm doing is scoring. I'm not playing defense. I'm not trying to make anybody else on my team better. Nah, just I'm going to handle the ball, and then we'll figure out the rest from there. Them the type of players you don't win championships with. It just don't happen. The only ball dominant players that win championships are ones who play defense as well. You can look through all the history. You got to be a two-way player if you're going to be ball dominant. So you got folks who can't play defense because they're undersized, or ball dominant, so they're not facilitators. They're not making their team better. And their sole purpose for being on the court is to score. Donovan Mitchell. But there's some other faces that I put on there. Dame Lillard. Dame. Premier. Don't even have to handle the ball. He don't gotta dribble the ball out. He don't gotta be super ball dominant, but he's a point guard, so he's gonna have the ball. Being undersized, still can't win a championship. Jordan Poole, another example. He's like the poor man's Donovan Mitchell, not as athletic at all. just strictly here to get buckets. You see what happened with him in Washington. That shit ain't work. It wasn't gonna never work. Honestly, that was a terrible idea. Whoever thought about that, they ain't think hard enough, because it wasn't gonna work. So Donovan Mitchell, Dame, CJ McCollum, and he was on the team with Dame. CJ McCollum he's the reason we have Donovan Mitchell's, where you got a guy who was such a great two-way player. I mean, not two-way player, but such a great six-man coming off the bench, and folks decided to start him. Another ball-dominant, score-first player who's undersized, so he can't play defense and isn't a facilitator. And his resume speaks for itself. Individually, these guys are all skilled, but simply the archetype that they have doesn't lead to entertaining basketball or winning. And the last guy is Jalen Brunson. Not much of a facilitator. Used to be in college, but with the Knicks, ball dominant, score first, score second, undersized. Looks great all year. All NBA player. Similar to Donovan Mitchell. All NBA player all year. Get to the playoffs. All you got to do is be 2 or 3 inches taller and you're going to beat the Knicks. The Pacers beat the Knicks. The Pacers are not a great team. They play great basketball, but they're not a great team. Good team that was playing great. They're not great. All you had was a point guard that was taller than Jalen Brunson. You win. It's nasty, but all of these people and their career paths have bled into the career of Rob Dillingham, simply because these guys are like top tier skill wise, and a lot of them worked to get to where they are. Nobody expected Dame to be who he is. Donovan Mitchell is a super athlete, so athleticism is going to get on the court. Jordan Poole, he's not even very undersized, except for his position. He's not big enough to defend respectably. CJ McCollum started off as a 6-man. He was like, man, he was a great college player. Let's just give him a shot since our 6-man is gone. Let's see what he has. And we just keep getting players, keep getting rid of players off the team. So eventually, only one left to get shots up. Jalen Brunson, underdrafted, given opportunity, played well. An injury happened, and that gave him an opportunity to show exactly what he could do. Rob Dillingham, unfortunately, hasn't been on a team where their injuries are going to happen or where you're going to have the platform to outperform the public opinion or public perception of yourself. So what used to be somebody with great promise and people had high expectations for, it's not really going to pan out or play itself out how people expect it. He still has opportunity to be like a great 6-man, like a campaign type of player where come in, give energy, but the superstardom that a lot of people projected for him, which made him a top 10 pick, simply because of his play style, it's not likely to happen. In order for him to even get more opportunity, he would have to become a hell of a facilitator or put on a lot of weight, get a lot stronger, and give a whole lot more effort on defense. And that's not likely. Once you made it to the NBA, you are who you are. And the things that got you there are the things you try to lean on to stay there. So the unfortunate part about Rob Dillingham is you got a playing style that just does not fit for the profession that you want. And it sucks because you see people before you, the names that I listen to, the photos that are attached to it, you see them get opportunities just to show what they have, and you're not going to get the same opportunity simply because these guys aren't even succeeding. They're stars, but they're not winning anything. Their ceiling is visible, which means people project your ceiling to be even lower than that. And that pessimism that is coming from the lack of results from others is now bleeding on him. And that's unfortunate. But such is life, man. The cool part about watching the NBA, though, is you start to see a lot of how the media portrayal affects outcomes, because Rob Dillingham's career is being affected by one media and team outlook, where we're covering these guys who we can compare to you or we will compare to you, and these guys, we're not very optimistic about their chances. So we're less than optimistic about your chances because you're not even them. And it also controls like the narratives for awards. Like, one of the opinions I have is Cade Cunningham is easily the MVP of this season. Like, it's not even close. It's Cade Cunningham, Jaylen Brown, Jokic, then Shea, simply because it should be most valuable player. And the media gets real lazy where they determine the guys who they expect to play well, and then they use whatever stats they can to support that a guy's playing well compared to somebody who they didn't have high hopes for overachieving and the work that they put in leading to results. In my opinion, the most valuable player should be one that has proficient stats and great leadership ability, and even more so, amazing impact on wins and losses for their team. Meaning, if you take this person off this team, it ain't gonna work. Like for Jason Tatum, for him to be an MVP candidate, but tears Achilles and then Boston is number 2. It's like, dang, all right, well, maybe Jaylen Brown was the MVP candidate, and Jaylen Brown gets that bump because we've seen the Celtics without Jaylen Brown and just Jason Tatum. It didn't look as good as the other way around. Denver's played games without Aaron Gordon and without Jokic, and Jamal Murray has stepped up and became an all-star, and they stayed in contention. SGA, Thunder have played games without SGA and without Jalen Williams. They have so much depth and so much talent. They continuously stay at the top of the West. You take Cade off of Detroit, through his leadership, he's able to still affect his guys' morale just by showing up and by leading, whether he can play or not. But if you just remove him from the team, there's no way Detroit is number 1. And this is a crazy comparison. I don't hear anybody make. Cade Cunningham is Penny Hardaway 2.0. That dude's an MVP. Wemby, easily Defensive Player of the Year. Con Knipple, easily Rookie of the Year, because Cooper Flag is not winning and he's missing games anyway. And he had a great stretch of games, great. But I remember right before that, he had like terrible stretch of games. And Knipple was out here killing. But all of these guys have something in common, right? 1, height. 2, entertaining. They overcoming the obstacles, regardless of the opportunity they were given. They're overcoming it, and they're multi-talented where they're not just focusing on one thing. They have a couple of tools in their tool bag. And that's kind of necessary when you're talking about basketball, but basketball conversations are typically limited now these days to what team do you like? Whose highlights did you watch? And at what entry point did you start liking basketball? So unfortunately, a lot of folks won't even catch the trends. So we'll have outcomes like the career of Rob Dillingham, and folks won't even understand how we got here. But at NOCAPPP, we see what's going on. I'll catch you tomorrow, man. I need to go like drink some Celtic salt or something. Your boy is suffering.